Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday podcast. Hope y'all are doing well. This is being live streamed on Facebook as well as our new TikTok channel. So if you are on TikTok and you haven't followed Faith and Fandom on TikTok, you can do that. Also, we are trying to boost our YouTube channel up a smidge. So if you're a YouTuber, you want to find us over there as well. Um, a lot of the shorts and podcasts end up on YouTube as well. So, uh, honestly, it's wherever you find stuff. So whatever's better for you. But if you care to be involved in those conversations, head on over to YouTube, Facebook, and those things. Our new uh, TikTok and wherever you get podcasts. So thank you for joining with us this morning. I hope you're doing good. I don't have a metric ton of news, just a little bit. Um, but that's okay. It doesn't always have to be a long one. Next week, this point in time, if all goes well, I should be broadcasting from Heroes Con, setting up for that. So if you are around the Charlotte area or you plan on going to Heroes Con, make sure you stop on by there and come see me. I will be at Artists Alley booth 34 and 35, I believe, or 33 and 34. It's one of those. I'm on the back wall, sort of to the right near the concession stands. So if you want to be a part of that, head on over to Artist Alley, Heroes Con, June 12th through the 14th. And I think I'm going up Thursday night as well. But hope y'all are doing good. It has been a kind of a crazy month of preparation just to get ready for the this summer. And summer's always the busy season, but I think I just posted a updated calendar yesterday that I have 13 events maybe between now and September, and that does not include several weeks of camps of like being a camp speaker, leading worship for other people doing ministry, running a superhero camp for the city. So it doesn't include all that stuff. So it's going to be a busy summer, but I also that's I don't know how to not do a busy summer. It's been my life forever. Um, but yeah, we are going to kick off some news and jump right in. A priest and was officially dismissed from his position as the Catholic Church's utmost exorcist, which is a weird thing. Like, I mean, I get that I see exorcisms in movies and stuff like that so often, but literally, that is a whole division that you can go that route in, and that the utmost exorcist in their organization, Monsignor Stephen Rossetti, was removed as being an exorcist because he developed the belief that most of the UFOs we see in reported cases are in fact demons. Um, this is a dude who's written books on aliens, a dude who's written books on demons, and he's like, you know what, guys, they're the same thing. Um, and so he was removed from his position as an exorcist because he thinks aliens might be demons. So that's just a hard conversation to have and feel like you're this it's for a for real conversation. Um, but the Archdiocese of Washington also wants him to cut ties with St. Michael's Center for Spiritual Renewal over social media concerns. Uh, Tristan, good morning, dude. Um, he said that Rossetti said he was deeply saddened by this decision, but he thanked the Archdiocese for 19 years of support. So yeah, that's just a crazy route to go. But yeah, Tristan, I watched all of Trigun, uh Trigun Stampede, Trigun Stargaze, and the like movie that came after the show or whatever, like the hour and a half thing. Something with a B. But either way, I watched all. It was really good. I understand why thing is your backdrop. That moment with the Lord's Prayer at the end. That was Chef's Kiss. Um, and they really went a long way from uh Trigun to Trigun Stampede and Stargaze in terms of art and direction. It was pretty impressive, actually. Um, yeah. Aqua Teen Hunger Force actor Carrie Means, who does Frylock, and I've done dozens of Comic Cons with this dude. Has now revealed that he is homeless and he is asking for donations on GoFundMe. Um, which is a hard place to be, obviously. Uh, so if you are connected and care with Frylock, he's reaching out and asking for help. Sir Idris Elba, well, now Sir Idris Elba, uh, earlier this week, the iconic actor and star of the He-Man film, because honestly, he was probably one of the best parts of the He-Man film, was knighted by King Charles. Is now he can add it to his list of actor, DJ, kickboxer, and all the other things that he is now a knight of the crown. So congratulations, Idris Elba, on being knighted. And what is heartbreaking to a whole level of nerds that I don't personally know well, um, the Stargate series from Amazon has officially been canceled 6 months after being announced. Um, and there's been a lot of back and forth and arguments and debacles over what, why, where, and how. But I know a few Stargate fans who are deeply disappointed. If you weren't aware, somewhere in the contract for uh, Marvel and Disney getting the rights to the Marvel Universe, there was a deal that was put in place uh, on in terms of how. Yeah, I can see why Trigun would be one of your favorites. It's definitely got good heart. The animation style and stuff in the newer stuff is pretty interesting, and some of the combat is just bananas. Um, but like I honestly enjoyed the original series too. It's just, there's a difference in the vibe from that time period and now. Um, one of the things that has been in place for the better part of a decade was that Universal Studios, specifically like Orlando, and I'm assuming Hollywood as well, there was a time limit on how long Universal could keep Marvel rides and Marvel characters up at rides. Because if you are aware, Universal Studios Orlando has an entire Marvel section with rides like the Hulk and a Doctor Doom Tower and a Spider-Man ride and things of that nature. That was not going to be a permanent thing once Marvel and Disney acquired their rights so that Disney could put more Marvel features and functions into their property. Well, the timeline is up, and now things are moving forward, and it currently appears that Tristan is one of the fans hurt by the cancellation of Stargate. I'm sorry, dude. Um, I think I saw the original movie once, and I thought about watching one of the shows just because Kaylee from Firefly was in it, but it wasn't enough to make me do it at that point in time. Hi, Tara. Um, but yeah, it's a lot for those folks. But Universal has officially begun turning Islands of Adventure into a Pokemon area for the Universal Studios Orlando. Um, there had been rumors that they were going to turn certain sections of it into Legend of Zelda, but Pokemon Land will most likely be the replacement for the Marvel portions of Universal Studios Orlando, which just makes it even a better destination. Because honestly, I just want to go walk around the Mario world, and I haven't done it yet, but I will. I plan to do it this year, hopefully. Um, but yeah. Biola University will acquire Phoenix Seminary. Um, so if, uh, yeah, just a little note there. Um, Paul Rudd did an auction unauthorized by Marvel to be his date to the Avengers Doomsday premiere. And somebody paid $100,000 um, to be his date to the Avengers Doomsday premiere. And that all that money is going to go to a children's hospital in Kansas City. So a dude paid 100 grand to go to Avengers Endgame premiere without Marvel's permission, but that money will go to a children's hospital in Kansas, so or Kansas City. The Trump administration potentially hired one of the folks that was convicted of the riot on January 6th, 2021, to be um, part of the counterterrorism post. So they literally are hiring a dude who is convicted of terrorism to be part of the counterterrorism position. That's fun. Uh, do. If you are from my area and you are familiar with Fayetteville Fan Fest or Fayetteville Comic Con, uh, one of the showrunners, LJ Bowens, is going to be doing a Facebook Live announcement on June 15th at 6 p.m. So if you want to get updated on what's going to be happening with Fayetteville Fan Fest, Fayetteville Comic Con, etc., June 15th, 6 p.m., you can check out LJ's page for that or Fayetteville Fan Fest. Shaquille O'Neal is developing a deal with Archie Comics for a series called Vengeance Unchained. Um, yeah, it's not a superhero comic, but it's a fun one that Shaq is going to be part of doing. Good morning, Skeleteeth. Good morning, Vintage Graphics. Um, a tease for new Avengers Doomsday stuff was teased for about a week or so going on, and people were hoping for a trailer. Instead, we got a Doomsday coffee shop in London. An Avengers themed Doomsday coffee shop opened called Dom Latveria, and it opened in London and featured coffee and decor inspired by Doctor Doom's homeland of Latveria, um, and served as a promo piece for the movie. Uh, Obsession has been doing really well in the box office, and I'm not telling you that if horror movies are your jam, Obsession is a very unique type of horror movie. But Obsession not only made a ton of money on like next to no budget. I want to say the movie cost $750,000 to make and has grossed over 100 million and is still going. Um, but it did something that very few movies, and I did not turn off my notifications, and I'm sorry for that. Let me do that. It did something that very few movies get to do, is they had to back up its digital release. It was going to release digitally pretty soon, and they had to go back in and pull. Universal had to pull the digital release back because they're extending the theatrical run, which is kind of the opposite of what's happening with Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, but because it's still making enough money in theaters, they don't want to release it on digital. So congratulations. Um, Taylor Swift has announced, as well as Toy Story, that she has written a new original song for Toy Story 5 called I Knew It, I Knew You. It will be officially featured in Toy Story 5. Taylor was able to watch an early screening of the film before she wrote the song specifically for the film. Um, in a fun, joyful moment, the voices behind Phineas from Phineas and Ferb and Isabella from Phineas and Ferb just got married. Um, so the voices that literally were part of a lot of people's childhoods and young adults and old adults got married together, and that's pretty sweet. One of the things that I mentioned last week is the DC blackout protest slash boycott that was mentioned uh, because folks were citing the fact that DC Comics had not had an African American led comic book in over 1,200 days. There is stuff in the works. There is stuff that was coming. There are things that had been announced, but people were still upset about it. But the organizers behind the blackout boycott have officially ended the boycott, and they're shifting their focus to advocacy. Um, I think things were found out, conversations were had, voices were heard, and they said they officially had come to a resolution. So, for all accounts, that has officially ended. So that's good. Um, Tomorrow, Saturday, June 6th, if you are in the Fayetteville, North Carolina region, Souls Arcade and Tap Room will be shuttering its doors and shutting down. They have a discounted tap wall of drinks, discounted canned drinks. They're going to be doing giveaways all day. And T-Mobile will be providing free ice cream for the day. So if you're in Fayetteville, from uh, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., there's free ice cream, and the rest of the stuff will be happening all day long. There's also an adult book fair happening at Dirtbag Ales, I want to say from 12 to 4 tomorrow as well. So it's kind of a neat thing. I am not in it. There's been all these great book events that I totally missed out on because I was not looking for them, but I'm gonna fix that. Uh, if you have been aware, many search engines like Google have announced that EI, or not EI, AI is officially going to be part of their search engine, whether you like it or not. And so, with that, the search engine DuckDuckGo has officially declared that no AI search, um, or that from this point on, they will use no AI in their searches, or that they haven't before, and that they will continue to be an AI-free search engine, which has caused a dramatic response of people actually downloading and making that their primary search engine. So that's happening. A Carnival Cruise Line data breach has impacted nearly 6 million travelers in the world. Uh, in fact, and this was legitimate. Like I got the email saying, "Hey, your data has been accessed." Now, I went on a cruise a million years ago, but either way, 6 million people's data got breached via hackers of the Carnival Cruise Line data. Do uh, if you are a fan of Batman or DC Comics or anything like that, in the most recent issue of Batman Hush 2, one of Batman's iconic rogues was officially killed. Um, I may have mentioned this last time, but I was gonna not say anything more with it for details. There is a weird trend right now of people climbing into the sewers in New York City, um, like by whole groupfuls, and I'm sure it's content and social media in some way or shape or form, but they're talking upwards in the hundreds of people that are climbing into sewers in New York City. Taylor Swift has officially become the richest female musician in history. It's not the richest female in history, but the richest female musician, with a fortune now over worth $2 billion. 60 fans thought that they had struck a jackpot when it came to the FIFA World Cup. 60 people bought tickets for the World Cup 2026, and their seats were priced at $0. Um, and that was a ticketing mix-up, and they were all officially contacted and says, no, that was an accident. You have to pay full price. Uh, if it was me and you let me buy it at $0, you don't get to tell me I have to give you more money. I'm just throwing that out there. I hope I hope they fight back or they get some extra merchandise or swag or something because that's not nice. But either way, SWAT, thank you for all the love, dude. Um, but yeah, FIFA World Cup tickets aren't cheap, so I probably would be dropping it at that point in time. Uh, Masters of the Universe is officially out in theaters today. I saw an earlier screening this week. With that being said, there are post-credit scenes. There are several. Like there's scenes all throughout the credits, and then there is one final actual scene at the very end after the music stuff before fade to black. So stick around through all the credits if you're watching it, and it was genuinely fun. I had a really good time of just popcorn usage with that one. Uh, the Tomb Raider game Legacy of Atlantis, which is a remake of the original Tomb Raider, but with high def 3D, all the things. The Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is now moved from November to February to avoid Grand Theft Auto 6. And as it's looking, there are no games planning to release anywhere near Grand Theft Auto 6. So Tomb Raider will be moved up to February or moved back, either way, away from November to February. It has officially been announced this week that God of War Lao Fei is bringing the series to life. It will be a story that takes place parallel to the God of War series. It's not a prequel. Um, and it will be Ainsley with the woo. Um, it will be a story that takes place with Deborah Ann Mole of Daredevil and True Blood fame and Dungeons and Dragons fame will be playing Lao Fei, if I'm saying it correctly. Um, and Jack Quaid, who played, Huey in The Boys, he's animated Superman. Um, he was one of the Spider-Men in Across the Spider-Verse, etc. Jack Quaid will be playing a sidekick that is a gelatinous cube. Um, will be her sidekick. Fans are upset at or some fans are upset that it is a God of War game that will not feature Kratos. But the creators have officially said, "Don't worry, Kratos will be back, um, and y'all will be okay." Uh, Also, the Swedish slash Norwegian artist Leve um, has getting more press lately because they are officially releasing pronunciation guides um, for this game to say that it's not pronounced like Norwegian singer Leve. So, congratulations, Leve, for just having a name very similar to the character in God of War. Um, Ansley says Kratos has gotten enough attention, and absolutely correct. Um, And I love Deborah. Like, she's one of the most genuine people to listen to talk to. Like, one of my favorite videos is Deborah Ann, if I'm going to say her name wrong, but either way, Deborah Ann Mole, explaining Dungeons and Dragons to John Barenthal. One of my favorite videos. Um, just because her heart is just lovely. And I'm excited for her getting to the shine of the major labels. So, um, yeah, congratulations. And if nobody else is excited, Ainsley's excited, and that counts. Um, they're stating that AI could consume as much water as 1.3 billion people by the year 2030. That on the track that we're on, AI could consume that much water by 2030, and for us to keep that in mind. Yee. Uh, in Hawaii, at the Kiliao volcano, there are spews of lava exceeding up to 60 or 650 feet in the air as the volcano is not quite erupting, but it's juggling lava. So, if, yeah, if you're in Hawaii, watch out. Also, eh. um, President or not president, sorry, Mayor Mamdani of New York, officially put through an executive order to repeal bedtime last week so that kids could stay up to watch the New York Knicks play, which was sweet. And they had a mayor's office full of little kids, did all that. A federal judge has ruled that Trump must remove his name from the Kennedy Center, and there's a whole long list of reasons why. But SWAT, thank you, dude. You're freaking killing it. All the gifts, man. Appreciate it, man. Um, yeah, that's happening. Uh, a Florida lawsuit is challenging AI companies over safety concerns. The state is suing. So, Florida, the state of Florida, is suing OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman, accusing the company of deliberately concealing the severe risks of its chatbot and chatbot GPT, or chat GPT, especially when it comes to minors. So Florida is suing AI for being dangerous. There we go. Brandon Lake won K-Love Fan Awards top honors this past week and encouraged people to take the gospel to a new room, to find a new room for the gospel. Basically, get out of the places you're comfortable and go find new places to take it. Um, and I'm not surprised he won a bunch of awards. I assume him and Forrest Frank just switched between winning all the awards. A missing nuclear lab worker was found dead in New Mexico. This is among a stream, not a stream, but of a trend um, of dozens of scientists who have recently disappeared and died. So, to top off our news, a priest is fired for saying that demons might, or the aliens might be demons, and we've got a whole string of nuclear scientists going missing and some showing up dead, and AI is drinking 1.3 billion people's worth of water. That's delightful. Shia LaBeouf was had officially pled guilty to battery over his February 17th Mardi Gras brawl. The actor will be charged or will be sentenced to 2 years probation. No jail time, but 2 years probation. It is looking like the Doctor Who Christmas special will officially be bumped up to Easter instead of, or bumped back to Easter instead of Christmas. Um, there is a lot of unhappiness and frustration with the South Carolina court system. As a convenience store owner was found not guilty of murder from a 2023 fatal shooting of a young teenager who he wrongly suspected of shoplifting 4 bottles of water. Um, but the store owner, which his name is Chikai Rick Chow, was found not guilty of murder 3 years after he fatally shot Cyrus Carmack Belton, a young man who the owner thought was shoplifting. Yeah, he was young, and it's just kind of crazy. A 14-year-old kid gets shot and killed by the store owner because he thought he was shoplifting. Hey, if you think a 14-year-old child is shoplifting 4 bottles of water, shooting should not be your first thought. period. But the fact that he's found not guilty is infuriating to people. Like, how? How are you not guilty? I meant it is what it is, but it's sad. If you are a child of the 80s or 90s, or you just know pop culture, Howard Stern's sidekick Robin Quivers has officially announced that she is cancer free after struggling with cancer for decades. Peebo Bryson, the writer and voice behind iconic Disney songs like Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World, has officially passed away at the age of 75. He did lots of other music as well, but I mean, those are just things that he's easily known for. Michael Jackson has become the first and only artist to have a new Billboard Hot 100 in 6 different decades. Um, Chew on that. That with the release of the Michael movie, his music has back into the Hot 100s. And he has had a Hot 100 song in 6 different decades. That's just so crazy. My kids went to watch that movie twice. Um, and I'm like, I don't want to watch it. I lived through it. No necessary hate, but I'm just like, I literally lived this stuff. So I don't know. Um, I'm gonna double check. That might be my news for the day. Uh, let's see. I think that might be all the news. I will say this: if you're a fan of Christian hip hop, Andy Mineo and Words Played, don't stop till you get enough. Andy Mineo and Words Played are releasing Magic and Bird 2, which is a follow-up to their 2017 basketball themed hip hop album. They are officially releasing Magic and Bird 2, and they're doing it in spurts, and they're doing 4 free concerts, one of which will be in Atlanta on June 26th, which I'm strongly considering going to. Um, but they are doing a new album that is wrestling themed. Um, and there's a whole bunch of different digital ways you can access it and stuff that they're doing, almost like scavenger hunts. So if you want to check that out, uh, go to either of their socials. You'll be able to find it pretty easily. But that is going down. Um, well, that's our news. So let's do our roll for initiative Bible reading. Um, Going to roll some dice and see what we read. Somewhere in here, I've got a rock, paper, scissors dice. Ready for some ASMR? Here we go. Shake, shake. All right. So we got a rock, paper, scissors dice. Uh, the fist is the Old Testament, the scissors is the New Testament, and the paper is the whole Bible. So we're going to see what we're reading. We got the whole Bible, which means we need three D20s and a D10, and then we subtract three. And yeah, I know that's a lot, but roll with me. That's how it works. You need to subtract a number for each dice extra beyond one so that you can roll a one and start with Genesis. All right, so we got our three D20s. We need a D10. So D10. Okay. And we're going to roll this and subtract four or subtract three. All right, so we got 11, 17. Ooh, we might end up in the New Testament today, boys. And 16. So we got 27 and 17 is 47? My math is dumb. I'm sorry. 27 and 17. Yeah, 47. All right. Yeah, we're tracking. And a 10, so that's 57. Minus 3, so 54. So we are in the 54th book of the Bible. And let's find out what we're reading there. Got it upside down. Is that Red Hood? Yes, that is a Red Hood helmet up there, and it is autographed by Curran Walters, the dude who played Red Hood in Titans. And if you y'all that are watching on TikTok, you can see this. My camera's not angled like this on Facebook. But this entire stack right here is all Red Hood from like Batman Reborn, Jason Todd, his first Hush figure, and all of his original action figures. That's all of the original Jason Todd figures. Um, Red Hood's my favorite. All right, 54th book. So we're gonna start in the New Testament because that's easy to jump in at 40. So 40, or so that's 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. We are in First Timothy. Um, Favorite DC writer, Tom King right now. Um, Tom King right now is my favorite DC writer. And yes, that is a Borderlands helmet. I got that. I got to be a guest at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019, and they gave everybody Borderlands helmets and Shazam lightning bolt fingers, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna be reading First Timothy and see what chapter we're reading. Oh yeah, we got to roll for that. So let's go to First Timothy. Timothy was a good guy. In all honesty, out of all the stuff that's in there, he probably got like there's not much negative said about him, so you're not wrong. All right, First Timothy has 6 chapters, so we're just gonna straight up roll a d6. Um, we're gonna use a stone dice from Italy. It's my favorite d6 that we're gonna roll. Um, and we'll see what chapter of Timothy we're reading. Chapter 1. That's convenient. All right, so we're gonna do First Timothy chapter 1. And I got a little thing that keeps track of my reading for this. So we're going to mark that down. Well, poop. We've already done chapter 1, so we're going to roll again and do another one. Chapter 6. We're going to be in First Timothy chapter 6. So mark that down. I try and not do the same chapters. I do this every week, so sometimes it's easy to forget over a couple years. All right, so First Timothy chapter 6. And I'm going to use the Faith and Fandom devotional journal. Uh, It's got sections for normal Bible study. It's got sections for finding geeky content and encouraging content or finding encouraging content in the stuff that you watch, read, play, etc. It's also got prayer sections, all this stuff. So I've been doing all of our devotional readings through that as well. So let me find a blank section. I'm going to fill this up at some point in time because we've been steady trucking. All right, so uh the date is June 5th. The book is First Timothy chapter 6. All right, let's get reading. All right. Oh, all right. First Timothy chapter 6. Let as many bondservants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor, so that the name of God and his doctrine may not be blasphemed. And those who have believing masters, let them not despise them because they are brethren, but serve them because those who are benefited from believers. Those who are benefited are believers and brothers. Teach and exhort these things. Error and greed. If anyone teaches otherwise and does not consent to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Jesus Christ, and to the doctrine which accords with godliness, he is proud, knows nothing, but is obsessed with disputes and arguments over words, from which come envy, strife, reveling, evil suspicions, useless wranglings of men, and corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, who suppose that godliness is a means of gain. From such withdraw yourselves. So he said, if they aren't listening to actual teaching and they're just trying to get views, cause drama, and be trouble, withdraw yourselves from such people. Now, godliness with contentment is great gain. That's an often quoted verse. Um, uh, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out. Uh, and having food and clothing, with these we shall be content. Having food and clothing, and with these we shall be content. That's a one to note. Um, but those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and the snare and temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and harmful lusts which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. BT Dubs, I am reading this out of the Sketchbook Bible. My friend Paul Mignard did this with Nelson Publishing. Um, and he's the dude who does sketchy sermons. And he did this sketch for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, and it is fire. I love this sketch. Let me see if I can get this on the live stream camera. There we go. Um, but just super dope sketch. Um, but back on to reading. Uh, the good confession. But you, O man of God, flee these things and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and gentleness. Fight the good fight of faith, and lay hold on eternal, to which you are also called, and have confessed the good confession in the presence of many witnesses. I urge you in the sight of God, who gives life to all things, and before Christ Jesus, who witnessed the good confession before Pontius Pilate, that you keep this commandment without spot, blameless, until our Lord Jesus Christ appearing, which he will manifest in his own time. He who is the blessed and only potentate, man, I hadn't heard that word in a while. The King of Kings, Lord of Lords, who alone has immortality, dwelling in unapproachable light, whom no man has seen and no man has seen or can see, to whom be honor and everlasting power. Amen. Instructions to the rich. Command those who are rich in the present age not to be haughty, nor to trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who gives us richly all things to enjoy. Let them do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to give, willing to share, storing up for themselves a good foundation for the time to come, that they may hold on to eternal life. Timothy, O Timothy, guard what was committed to your trust, avoiding the profane and idle babblings and contradictions of what is falsely called knowledge. That's a whole mouthful right there. Uh, avoiding the profane and idle babblings and contradictions of what is falsely called knowledge. By professing it, some have strayed concerning the faith. Grace be with you. Amen. All right. So we read First Timothy with this dust jacket. I don't hate dust jackets, but I have no love for dust jackets because I mess dust jackets up. Um, so we did First Timothy. We're gonna go through our little study section with it. Got all these dice up on here. Not a lot of room. Not a big desk. All right. Facebook, thanks for hanging with us. TikTok, hi, how y'all doing? Y'all have been ridiculous with the love and hearts, so thank you and good morning. I appreciate y'all all greatly. Um, so main passage focus. Um, I'd say the main passage focus for this overall is uh correct living, uh appropriate honor, and proper focus would be my thoughts on that one. Who wrote it? Paul. Who was it written to? Timothy. Why was it written? Instruction slash encouragement. When was it written? I don't actually know that. Let's look and see. This looks like one of the Bibles that would have that type of thing at the beginning. I just got this Bible, so and I've only been using it for this podcast so far. So, um, says it was probably written a few months after First Thessalonians. Uh, time. I love that. It's actually got it right there. AD 51. Fantastic. And this was he would have been in Corinth with the Corinthian church when he wrote this. All right. Symbolism present. Um, slaves and masters was there. Um, the just the arguments. There's different stuff with that. Money was a big symbolic discussion there. Okay, verses that stood out. There's a few. Um, I think verse 4 was solid for me. 6, definitely the uh godly godliness with contentment is great gain is always a banger for sure. Um, or verse 8, having food and clothing with these we shall be content. Um, always a good reminder. Let's see. And mark some more down. Verse 18, rich people should be rich in works. And then verse 20, yeah, verse 22 was super dope. What can I learn from this? That just because people talk doesn't mean they're worth listening to. That we need to have a healthy perspective on finance, and we need to protect our faith. SWAT, dude, you've been like straight killing it with the love, man. Thank you, man. How can I apply this to my life? Um, Be intentional about our relationships. Um, don't prioritize money in our time and actions, and give time and consideration to growing our faith. Was anything hard to understand? I'm gonna be honest, just like I know it was a different time and everything, but the whole slaves and bond servants and honoring those situations, I've always struggled with that. Um, the rest is, I get the rest. Pop culture parallel that reflects this passage. I mean, I was just talking about it in the news podcast, but like, um, not being greedy, like obsession is one of those first things that pops into my mind just because I was just talking about it. But anytime people are prioritizing money over substance, I mean, that's the story of half of entertainment is people that are prioritizing what they can get and what doesn't last and investing in things to just to lose. I that's from everything to DuckTales to yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could be good pop culture parallels for that. Most memeable verse. Just because I've been watching it lately. Free Ren, um, just where it's got now godliness with contentment is great gain, or even more so in having food and clothing with these things we shall be content. I just honestly picture like Free Ren, Fern and Stark sitting by the campfire. Oh no, you know what it was? The I just watched an episode in season 2 of them doing like a little foot hot spring thing. Um, and they were just happy to be in the moment. And I think that, you know, having food and clothing with these things we shall be content. Like that was a nice one. Um, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil is easily Indiana Jones memes too, as well. Uh, yeah. What song would be the best soundtrack for this passage? Um, I would throw Rich Kids from Judah and the Lion. There's a KB song about being rich. I don't remember the title of currently. Um, Tristan probably knows what it is. Um, yeah, but Rich Kids from Judah and the Lion and that one KB song about being rich. So I think that's our Bible study notes, um, and our news for the day. Die Rich. Thank you. Ansley on top of it. Most rap. Yeah. I'll go back there and put that in there. I'm always like limited when doing stuff like this and I can't remember things because I can't. I've got my phone on one camera and my laptop over there, and I'm like got dice in between me. If I try and reach over to search something, I'm going to make a mess. Okay, die rich. Cool. Thank you, Ainsley. All right, so we've done the news, we've done our ratings. I want to say thank y'all to the response to the fiction novel I put out, the attorney book. Just y'all giving a lot of love at the promotion of it. Um, and it was a big week for y'all picking it up online, so thank you for that. Um, and we'll be heading to Heroes Con with that book, and all the other books. Uh, this upcoming Thursday, I'll be heading out. Um, and I know it's just a straight up fiction fantasy novel, but the thing is, genuinely, there's still themes worked into it, and there's over 45 pop culture references that are in the book, and spoilers. Some of those pop culture references are Bible verses just without the references. So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Uh, but I'm excited for that. But we also have new devotionals. The we put out just this year, we put out the devotional journal. We put out the bite size volume 2, which has 101 devotionals entered. Lance, you just ordered it. That's awesome, dude. I really hope you enjoy it. Um, and dude, I think you'll just knowing the things that you and your people are into, I think it'll be a fun read for y'all. Um, I got you a copy, Miss Lynn. Don't worry. But like I'm just really in that we've got the bite-sized journal, the devotional journal, or sorry, we've got the bite-sized devotional, the devotional journal, and the attorney. And I'm really excited about the attorney. And so if you're picking up the book at Heroes Con, I have a whole jar of dice that you get to roll um your dice to see what your discount is on your book, which is kind of neat. I'm looking forward to that. Also, throw this out there. At Heroes Con, all the t-shirts will be on clearance for at least $10 because I'm officially getting out of our t-shirts. Like I'm getting rid of t-shirts. Um, just because of some logistical things and to make room for actual books and such. So shirts will be super cheap at Heroes Con. And after that, but I would love to be sold out of shirts or even just give the shirts away before I get to like GalaxyCon in July, but we'll see. But coming up immediately, I've got Heroes Con next week, Mid-Atlantic Fantasy Con in Virginia the week after. Um Fredericksburg, Virginia. Then the week after that, I've got Nerd Market in downtown Fayetteville. Um, so lots of stuff just in June. And then I got a couple weeks of camps and leading worship to kind of catch my breath before we jump into the rest of July. I'm gonna finish putting up these dice and then I'm gonna thank our Patreon supporters and we'll get closed out of here. But yeah, thank y'all for being encouraging and taking the time to do these things and yeah, just being on here. And I have to say, if I'm not mistaken, need to get another shirt then ASAP. You tell me what you need, dude, and I got you. Um, that's the thing. The only reason I haven't like put them online is because I don't know what I've got. Like I don't know what my inventory looks like. Um, like I didn't even order shirts for Heroes Con because of the logistical problems that I've had. Um, so I might have enough to get through Heroes Con, but Lance, just yell me what you need, and I got you, or what you want. And I'll be posting photos of the booth display once I get to Heroes Con, so you can even say, "Hey, give me that and that." Woo. That's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. All right, let's take a look at our Patreon supporters. And first, I want to say thank you to the Reynolds family. Um, 'Cause they're not on our Patreon supporters, but they are big supporters of what we're doing, and I greatly appreciate y'all. What's that notification? Your profiles are combining soon. I don't have multiple profiles. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I only log into Patreon like to do that to read our thank yous, and so every time I do, there's always like updates that I should have already read. So my bad. All right, I want to thank the Reynolds family, Zach T, um, Roshan John, Ryan Felton, Jessica Luttrell from Cosplay for Christ, Jackie Craft, um, Kelly Townsend, Alan Wallace, Fab Quack, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dot Winston, Michelle Turner, Michelle Stewart, Miss Lynn Turner, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Gear Saber Cosplay. Hold on, TikTok's making sure I'm a real person. Make me drag a puzzle piece while I'm trying to read. Gear Saber Cosplay, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Jason Bullock, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for being the encouragements that you are, um, and doing the things that you do. What's up, Kirk? How you doing, bro? Um, your the podcast looked good last night, man. Uh, but yeah, we're this week is gonna be almost all just gearing up for Heroes Con and getting ready for that. I got to get some more signs made and some extra display stuff. So I'm going to after I read our goodbye scripture, I'm going to log off of Facebook Live and recording. But if you want to hang out with me in the post show, air quotes, while I'm actually loading the podcast and editing and stuff, you can head on over to our new Faith and Fandom TikTok, where we got people like SWAT over here, holding it down. But we're gonna hang out on TikTok while I am editing and stuff. Uh, yeah, I need to put some. I mentioned it earlier with the scripture, but look at this dope sketch that my man put in here. Um, like your enemy, the devil roams around. Look at that lion, bro. That's kind of like I figure like Scar legitimately looks like Lion King. But either way, man did such a good job with. I know it was his job to make some art for the Bible, but still, my dude killed it with sketchy sermons over there. Um, I was in First Timothy 6. I want to go back and take a picture of that when I'm done. But yeah, we're gonna be hanging out on TikTok for a bit while I edit this podcast. So if you want to keep chatting or anything there, gonna be hanging out there. But the next week's Feedback Friday will be coming to you live from probably my hotel at Heroes Con. I always want to do it from the show floor, but I can never guarantee that internet's gonna be very functional down there. I was opening this to read it. I'm a dummy. 3rd John verse 2 is our goodbye verse. All right, 3rd John verse 2. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. Thank y'all for taking time to listen, to encourage, to read, to support, and for being a part of all that we get to do. Uh, and I hope to see you all at a con real soon. If you want to hang out with us on TikTok while I'm editing, you can do that. But I'll see y'all soon. And